we'll start with our opening segment tonight, our usual discussion for news and our what's spinning items. And Jimmy, why don't you lead us off tonight?
Yeah. So just a quick news item, as we all have heard over and over and over again about the Back to the Beginning, the final show for Black Sabbath, coming on Saturday the 5th in July at the Villa Park back in Birmingham. So where they began. So the birthplace pretty much of heavy metal. So they're going to be playing their final show, and there's lots of buzz around that. Tickets pre-sale went on sale, I think, yesterday and today, and they're pretty much sold out. I know to the general public, the rest of the tickets go on sale on Valentine's Day, this Friday. So that's kind of cool. But there's kind of, there's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of press with Tony, sorry, and Sharon, like in the, in the Birmingham soccer stadium and that kind of with their jerseys and stuff. It's kind of neat. It's so exciting. A lot of bands going to be playing, like performances from obviously Black Sabbath's going to be doing, and depending on what their set's going to look like, nobody really knows. I don't know what you guys think, but I'm thinking maybe 6 to 8 songs if we're lucky. What do you guys think?
That could be about right.
Yeah, I mean, for the prices, 6 to 8 songs would be a bit disappointing, but
Yeah,
like I know they've confirmed that Ozzy will be seated during the performance, so
yeah.
he's not standing up. Like apparently he hasn't been using his voice, so apparently it's in good shape.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd be disappointed if I paid all those prices and I only got 6 or 8 songs.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, and then there's there's going to be performances from Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, Gojira, Hellstorm,
Anthrax.
Alice in Chains, Lamb of God, Anthrax, Mastodon, and then a whole bunch of single people showing up like Tobias from Ghost and that. But Wolfgang Van Halen and that sort of thing. But what's really neat, I mean, I would assume the way I'm thinking it's gonna probably be is more of a tribute. So maybe I don't know if these bands will come on like and do parts of the. I mean, we have no idea. So with Ozzy's failing health, and yeah, he's going to be seated, which is way better. I mean, we might be able to hear a few more tracks because he's going to be seated. And yes, I've read too that his voice apparently is in tip-top shape. So, and that's really all that matters.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's going to be. This is like probably the biggest event in metal for the year. Like. It's going to be the last show. I think it's the right time. Usually they do these sort of shows and more along the lines of, kind of going on and doing a tribute to the band when maybe they're not together or many of the members have passed or whatnot. So in my mind, this is probably the perfect time to do it. And I don't think they can, I would assume with the timing of it being in July, they've probably put a lot of time frame in there getting ready and that sort of thing. So I would assume this is probably going to be a real kick-ass show. I think it's going to be awesome. And I think unless something grave happens, which we wouldn't want to happen, I think this will be a great show and it's going to go for sure. So exciting.
What I think is cool is the fact that they mend the fences with Bill Ward and they're bringing him back, which is great because it's like you can't really have Sabbath without Bill Ward.
Oh no.
So
not
it's
if
nice
it's
that
to be a
he's
farewell.
back.
You gotta have Bill.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like I know there was a lot of bad blood for a lot of years with Bill.
Oh yeah.
But, it's nice that they're putting all that aside to give Ozzy his final farewell before whatever happens to him over the next few years.
And for me, the tracks, if they do a shortened track list, which I mean I would assume it's probably not going to I don't know, but if it's going to be shortened, it would be great for the other bands to take on maybe many of the other lineups of Sabbath, and they only do the golden era stuff, which I mean that's kind of what they're going to be doing, I would assume. Yeah. So it's kind of neat. I've been going through all my records and thinking to myself, oh, what would they play off this? What would they play off that? So I can't wait to see it. I hope they do some sort of like it. It's obviously going to sell out. It could probably sell out 10 times over. I'm hoping they maybe do some sort of stream or something, which would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, that would make sense. that way everybody could see it. But
I mean, I bet definitely it'll be a DVD and probably a live album to go with it, and then
I would
maybe
assume.
something with all the bands. It's just gonna be really cool, and I think that's the way to do it. But yeah, that's my news item, and what I'm spinning. I've got a few things here. The first thing is I picked up the new Labyrinth album,
Nice.
which I actually asked you guys about because I wasn't really aware of this band. This is In the Vanishing Echoes of Goodbye. And this band kicks absolute ass. And like I'm starting to order some of their past stuff. I mean, they've got a pretty thick catalog, and I wasn't even aware of them till I heard a couple of tracks that I heard on my that on my Apple Music that got kind of if you listen to this, you'll like this type thing, and
Mm.
really really love it. The next one I picked up was the new Dax Riggs album, and
Oh
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
amazing. 7 songs for spiders. I mean, I'm a huge Acid Bath fan, and they only really only had 2 albums and sort of a kind of a mix EP of some rare stuff and that, and both those albums were solid. So Dax Riggs is was the lead singer of Acid
The
Bath.
back.
This is his 3rd solo album, but this one is super dark, a lot of bass in it, really down tuned. I think it's amazing, and that right now is in my top 15 of 2025. I don't know if it'll stay there because there's a lot of great releases coming, but that album I've been spinning the hell out of. Another one that was released at the end of 2024 was the new Halloween Live
Mm.
at Budokan double CD, so double live album. There was their tour that they did, and I did a review on it for All Father magazine, and this is amazing. Some great stuff on here. Kai has a medley with like 6 songs in it, just kind of stuck together, which is pretty neat. And it's just the sound and the crowd sound. It's a great live album, and it just came in last week, so I was really excited to get that. And my last pickup would have been last Friday, the new Dream Theater,
Yeah. Cool.
Parasonoma. I mean, it's just such an amazing album. This right now is my number 1 album of 2025. I would assume it'll probably stay in my top 15. I'm hoping for some heavy thrash to come out this year with some of my favorite bands, and so a lot of death metal will be probably coming out. So I'm hoping that I get some really good stuff. This is just such a huge prog metal fan, a huge Dream Theater fan. This right now, I probably put it in my top 5 of their albums, behind probably Images and Words, Metropolis 2, Awakes up there, and same with, God, I'm blanking, Turbulence, is there as well, but this is right up there. And, it's only, what is it? It's 8 songs, but it's 73 minutes long. So,
Yeah, it's a
they don't
massive.
disappoint. And I got it. The singles on here were really, really good. So you had Night Terrors, A Broken Man, and then the third one was Midnight Messiah. But I
Mm.
tell you, my 2 favorite songs on it, number 7, Bend the Clock. What a beautiful, amazing song. I suggest people to check that out. And the last one, the Shadow Man Incident, which my wife had to explain to me who the shadow people were, because
Yeah.
apparently it's a whole thing that I guess in this they're talking about sleep disorders. The whole album is themed of these sleep disorders. So that's one where you don't know if the apparition is real or if it's in the dream. But my wife heard some of the lyrics on it, and she was like, explain to me, because she's right into all kinds of everything from conspiracy theories to witchcrafty stuff and all this kind of stuff. And so she kind of explained it to me. She also explained to me the whole story behind Children of Bodom, the whole court cases behind that with these proposed killers and the
In the
victims
woods,
that
yeah.
happened. So I just thought it was a cool name. So
Well, I think it's
anyway,
creepy pasta kind of thing.
yeah,
The gentleman.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like a creepy pasta story.
yeah, kind of almost like the shadow people, in photos, and
Yeah.
whether you dream them and the apparitions come true, or like
Mm.
something like even kind of more, I guess, more campy would be the Slender Man sort
Right.
of,
Right.
yeah. Like, you
Yeah.
take a picture in the woods and there's this tall dude. I don't know. That creeps me out. If I saw that, I would move.
Yeah.
I
Creepy
look out in my
pastas are pretty
backwoods and I
scary.
see a Slender Man or a clown holding a knife. I'm out of here. Sorry.
No
Anyway,
worries.
I
You know what
digress. That's what
you
I
know what
got, guys.
you know what you miss though, Jim, on your number one list?
What?
Sacrifice is going to be on your list.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. I gotta have the album, but yeah, Sacrifice will be my top
It's
50.
going to be on your list. I
Oh
guarantee
yeah,
you, it'll be on your list.
fantastic. And that's one of my favorite thrash bands, so I can't wait for that.
Yeah, yeah, you'll like it. You'll like it. It'll be on your list.
I haven't heard
Sure,
the
it'll
whole
be
thing.
on
I've
Billy's
only heard the
list too.
singles.
What's that?
I've only heard the singles, so
Yeah, yeah. But when you hear the whole album, yeah, it'll blow you away.
nice.
Okay, Billy, the floor is over to you. What do you have for this week?
Uh, so for you want me to do a quick rundown of
Yeah,
70K or
yeah,
Yeah.
go for it,
or
dude.
what?
Yeah, yeah, go
Um,
for it.
yeah, so I just recently got off the 70K tons of metal. So that was cruise number, I'm gonna guess 14, I think.
Wow.
Don't quote me on that. Not for me, but like the total number of
Right,
times
right.
they did it. I think that's about right. So they basically hold a heavy metal festival. Picture a European style festival right in the minute, right in a cruise ship.
Okay.
So they basically rent a cruise ship. This one took place from January 30th to February 3rd. And they basically take the top deck and they build like a giant, like European sized outdoor stage right on top of the pool deck, which is pretty amazing to see. Then they convert the theater into a concert hall, which is pretty easy to do. And then there's an ice rink for like skating shows. They convert that to a place to do shows. And then they have a lounge that they do shows in as well. So pretty much same setup every year, largely the same ship they do. It's a Royal Caribbean ship called Independence of the Seas. Sometimes they alternate, I guess, depending on availability. So 60 bands. Show,
Wow.
so that's pretty cool. I mean, you're essentially 4 days of shows. So 60 bands, but the other thing
Wow.
is every band plays twice. So you got 120 shows. I only got through like 51 maybe.
Wow.
And there were many nights I was up till 4 a.m. Uh, I mean, the shows stop at 6 in the morning and then they start again at 10 in the morning.
Wow.
So there's only like a couple hours break, really. So you got to try to squeeze some naps in. Um, but yeah, some of the cool bands this year, shout out to Trouble. I've
Wow.
always been a huge Trouble fan, and
Me too.
sadly Eric Wagner passed away, so
Yeah.
no one's going to replace Eric. But they
Yeah.
actually had Kyle Thomas, who was the vocalist for Ex Hoarder, believe it or not, has now been doing all the Trouble shows, and he uses a totally different voice, so it's actually
Wow.
pretty cool. So they did like a greatest hit show, and then
Yeah.
played the Skull album in full, beginning to end.
Oh, good album. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, that was awesome to see that. That was great. Another unique band for me was they were on my top 10 list 2023 called Zenith Passage. So that was great to see them live. Never got to see them. Basically technical death metal. So it was really cool to see that live. Like they still had all the brutality of the death metal, but all the technicality that I love from technical metal. So that was really cool. And then one more shout out, a small band from Germany, a band called Warfield. So that's Warfield. They have an album that came out a couple years ago, but they're just getting ready to do a new album that's going to come out in April. But yeah, these guys are like, you can tell right away their influences were like early Sodom, Creator, some Destruction. They mix in some Bay Area thrash, but everyone on the ship was talking about these guys. Just old school thrash. Like I can't recommend checking those guys out enough. Um,
Oh,
Probably the busiest show on both occasions was Emperor. So if you
Yeah.
like black metal, they played some classic albums in full. So I think that was pretty popular.
oh,
I'm not the biggest black metal fan, so I checked it out though. It's still
okay.
an occasion. I watched both shows. Some other great shows were like Candlemass. I mean, those guys have
Yeah.
just aged like fine wine. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, like playing that Doom style, like it's great. Like I watched Flotsam and Jetsam twice,
Cool.
Candlemass twice. I went to check out Dirk Schneider twice just to hear
Cool.
all the old Accept songs. So that
Mhm.
was kind of cool. Tankard was
Ah,
great.
Tankard.
Suffocation. I got to meet the Tankard members
Cool.
and they signed some stuff. So that was really cool. Like the amount of times I was eating, a cool thing about 70K is there's no like VIP area for bands.
Right.
Fans live with the fans. They eat with the fans. They like. I remember I was watching the Italian power metal band, or is it Italian or Finnish? Sonata Arctica, and
Oh
I
yeah.
turned around
Finish.
to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Eric AK is standing right behind me watching the band. Like it just
Nice.
you have all these cool like seeing of band members and like somebody took a picture and like the singer of Emperor like Isan, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but like he was there getting coffee and pizza and like restaurants and people are taking pictures with them. So it's just a pretty cool it's just a very unique experience you'll never get anywhere else. Um, Also, Canada was a pretty good Canadian showing. We
Okay.
had Letharo,
Yeah.
Lutharo.
Unleash the Archers. We had
Yeah.
Striker from Edmonton, I think, and Montreal's Beyond Creation. Uh,
Cool.
that was pretty cool. Power metal was well represented. Like
Okay.
I'm a big fan of the band Stradivarius.
Hmm.
They were there. I mentioned Sonata Arctica, but there was Delane and Seven Kingdoms,
Oh,
and
yeah.
a Symphony X was awesome too.
Oh, wow.
I went to go see them twice. Uh,
Cool.
so yeah, just a great experience. Again, I highly recommend it. If there's going to be a negative about this festival, it's a little pricier because they're not going to sell 100,000 tickets. The show
Right.
will only hold like 3,500 guests, and you
Mhm.
are getting 60 bands, and many of them are quite large. So it's a little bit pricier. Um, and then the other thing is the organizers are notorious for announcing the bands late. So those of us who've gone many times, we don't get too fussed because they always put on a killer show. So I'm not worried about it. But I mean, this year, I would say a week before the cruise started, they still had to announce 28 of the 60 bands. So that would worry a couple people, I think, but they pulled it all off. So, yeah, all went well. So, yeah, great festival. You can check them out online. Lots of clips that people post, and yeah, again, just a really unique experience.
Cool.
Wicked.
And I like how you posted on Instagram the Disco Destroyer album from Tankard.
Yeah.
You got all that
Oh,
signed? That's awesome.
yeah. I mean, the only downside is so you could definitely meet the bands anywhere. Yeah, that's it. But
Yeah.
like I would always bump into Garrett in the buffet.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
like he obviously enjoys eating. So I every time I walked in, I would see him there eating. I said hello to him, but I don't want to get people like bug them to sign stuff while they're
Sure.
having dinner or coffee.
Yeah, yeah.
So I never like bug them when they're doing that. Um, but yeah, like they'll hold meet and greets. Every band has to do a formal meet and greet where they
Cool.
all sit there and you get in a line and take pictures. So for Tankard, I had to wait like 90 minutes
Wow.
because they hardly get over to Europe. I mean, get over to North America. So there were a lot of like Canadians and Americans who wanted to meet them. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And yeah, I guess the only thing I'd mention is the cruise leaves out of Miami. So you got to get yourself out to Miami first, and then off in Miami, and then everyone flies back. But they also do like all these amazing like pre-parties. So there's
Okay.
like a hotel on Miami, right in the heart of South Beach, called the Clevelander, and they'll do like metal shows before the ship sails. They do drink nights and play heavy metal music, and they hold a giant beach party the day before the cruise leaves. So there'll be like 3,000 metalheads on the beach, here and taking pictures, and so
Very cool.
just unique experience.
Okay. Cool. Well, you had
Um,
a good time, it sounds like, anyways.
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, yeah, great time.
Cool.
It's always sucks to get off the boat, the ship
Yeah.
that Monday morning.
Anything else you want to report on this week, Billy?
No, I mean, I mentioned I'm really hyped up about this band Warfield. So
Yeah,
they're
you
to give
mentioned, yes.
people a heads up. It's coming out April 4th. It's called With the Old
Okay.
Breed, on Napalm Records. It's in Napalm
Okay.
USA as well. The single's already out on streaming. Lament of the White Realm, it's called. So
Okay.
yeah, if you like what we're talking about today, you're gonna like this band. So.
Well,
Uh,
I've already listened to the last album when you mentioned them.
okay.
So I went on to YouTube and heard the whole thing. It was pretty good. I really liked it.
Yeah. Yeah. And the new music definitely was a step above. So yeah,
Yeah,
check
sure,
out the
sure.
new single if you can.
Cool.
And then the
Cool.
last thing was a tour announcement. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I think it's being referred to as Shred Fest. So a lot of technical death metal, Obscura,
No.
Atheist, Origin,
Oh yeah, yes, I saw that. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and Fractal Universe. So
Right.
I got to see Fractal Universe actually on 70K.
Is
Um,
that the Warfield there?
Yeah,
yeah,
that's it.
yeah,
Yeah,
Oh
it was a
man,
nice
that
cover.
single is wicked.
that's the new one, right? That's coming.
Yeah, the Lament of the
Yeah,
White Realm,
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
single.
yeah.
Yeah, that's called With the Old Breed. Yeah.
Yeah. And these guys, I gotta tell, I've never seen anyone like the vocalist bass player. I've never seen anyone in my life as active as he is on stage. Like
Wow.
he
Cool.
gives Mike Muir a run for his money, but he's carrying a
Nice.
guitar. Mike doesn't carry a
That's
guitar.
right.
Right,
No,
bass
no.
guitar. So this guy's jumping off the drum riser, jumping off the monitors. He's running back and forth nonstop. He
Wow.
uses all the mics across the stage. Yeah, it's pretty impressive stuff.
Did you meet them?
Cool.
No, actually, I didn't. The odd thing is, I discovered them very late in the cruise.
Oh, okay.
And the show that I really got hooked on them was like that last evening, so I never got to see them again.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh well.
You can
Oh,
all buy the
the
album when it
album
comes
art is
out.
phenomenal. So
Yes. Yeah, I love that cover. It's so great.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's a fairly big label, right? Napalm for a small
Yeah.
band.
Yeah,
I mean,
Napalm's. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So they obviously liked what they heard.
Cool. All right. All right. So I have some news items and tidbits. We'll start with the first one. Destruction apparently have announced that they are doing a new documentary to be released in German theaters in this coming March. It's called The Art of Destruction. There's a trailer. You can look the trailer up on YouTube. Was like I think I saw it last week. So Mike Sifringer is actually in the movie, which is kind of neat. So he came back to be. I think they filmed this like 5 years ago. So it looks like it looks pretty good. I don't know if it's getting like an international release in the United States and Canada, but they started filming this like 5 years ago. So it's like 5 years in the making. So look for that soon. And I also heard or just recently read some thoughts from Chuck Billy. He was mentioning that he was interviewed by Wall of Sound, and he said that the new album is going to be a throwback to stuff like Legacy and the New Order.
Good.
Yeah, that's what he said. He also said the songs are fast and heavy. And he mentioned that right now they are currently mixing the album and attentively have a summer or early, I guess, late spring, early summer release. And a single should be coming out soon. So I thought, wow, that was actually some pretty cool news. So I'm excited about that. We'll see how it goes. He didn't give it a definite date with the album itself, but it sounds like it's almost ready to go.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty excited.
I want that.
The
That
funny-
should end up in my top 15 as well.
The funny thing is, he was there was a post that I guess Zetro did it. It was
Yes.
Zetro and it was Chuck
Yes.
Billy, and like it sounds like they were still writing lyrics.
Apparently, Zetro has written some songs for this album.
Yeah.
Nice.
Apparently, and I don't know if that's what pissed off Gary. I don't know. Like he's going on Holt was going on about all kinds of crazy shit, and it's like, okay, dude, there's two sides to every story.
Yeah.
Maybe it might be true, but you were making a good point earlier today, Billy. You're saying that, well, the guy basically dumped his band to play in Slayer, so that it does take away people from earning a living,
Yeah.
especially with these guys. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
But Zetro wrote a couple of the lyrics on the Last Testament album.
Yes, he did. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
he did.
He
That's right.
apparently he has for a few before that as well.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's cool that they like to work with him. I think that's kind of neat that they still like to work with him and stuff.
Yeah.
But
But Gary shouldn't get upset at that because he's been doing it
no,
forever.
Oh yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no. I don't know what's eating Gary. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of he said, she said kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? Like, I'm saying this, you're saying that. I mean, the thing about Zetro, at least he's keeping quiet. He's not coming out and like
Yeah.
slamming the band or Gary. He's keeping it pretty amicable for now until maybe he does something down the road. I don't know, like on his podcast, maybe.
Yeah, he
He'll say
doesn't even
something.
do his podcast anymore,
No.
which sucks. I
Yeah,
always enjoyed it.
yeah, I was listening to the podcast too, but I'm not sure what's going on in his world. But yeah, it sucks. But what can you do? And then the last item, of course, was just announced yesterday, and that's the big industrial metal show coming up in May. So Ministry is coming back to town. They're bringing with them Die Krupps, which I do like, and they're also bringing My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult. So it should be a pretty decent show with three different kind of style industrial bands. So I'm looking forward to that. That's in May at History, so we'll see how that goes. Tickets are actually cheaper.
I'd like to see Ministry.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if this is the end, which
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, everyone would like to go check out that show. Tickets are about $80, which aren't
That's
too
pretty
bad.
cheap.
Yeah, I was actually expecting it to be more, but
Yeah.
we'll see. That's pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to that show. I know Billy was like, no, I ain't going to that. Forget that.
The worst part is it's all that. I mean, I'm not an industrial metal guy, and
Yeah.
I'm still all upset that like all almost the whole like headlining section of Wacken this year is all industrial metal, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Ministry and like everything that what was the other band that you liked, Ken? That first album, we did a podcast on it.
Oh,
You're
Uh,
well, not Prong.
no,
Prong.
Machine Head.
Machine Head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, like Machine Head are there, Nail Bomb are there.
yeah.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
Nail Bomb.
Then you got to throw on like all the new metal is up there in the head. Like I think Korn and Limp
Oh,
Bizkit.
I hate
Like
Korn.
it's just like for me, it's turning into a nightmare lineup. And
Oh.
Guns N' Roses, they spent all the money, so that's their one main like headliner.
I
I don't know
love
why.
GNR.
Yeah, but I don't want to go all the way to Germany to see them. They play here all the time.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
the
you've already
Korn.
probably seen him before anyway. So
Oh, yeah, many times.
there's
Yeah,
nothing special about that. Like,
Yeah.
really, at the end of the day.
yeah,
I've seen
kind of
Guns N' Roses
unfortunate.
4 times in Halifax.
yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
in their prime.
yeah, same here. I've seen him in Toronto many times when they were like really good, when they were
yeah.
an actual band. But yeah, that's kind of shitty if you're going to walk in and I don't know. What can you
I
do?
saw Guns N' Roses open for Iron Maiden for Seventh Son tour.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I didn't even know who Guns N' Roses, like they had the album had just come out, Appetite.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing them, and the way they introduced the concert was from the gutters of Hollywood, Guns and fucking Roses. And I remember just going, who are these guys? And it was wicked. Oh man, it was the best. It was so good. And then of course Iron Maiden doing Seventh Son was one of my all-time favorite concerts. So
Yeah, that was a really good show. I saw that show too.
yeah.
In Toronto, when they came, they played Exhibition Stadium, which is no longer there now. It's long gone. But yeah, when he came on the stage, it was just a tirade of like "fuck you, fuck
Yeah.
this." It's like, okay, what the hell's going on here? For 5 minutes, even before anything,
Yeah.
even when they played a first song. But
They did
yeah, I
Knocking
remember
on
that.
Heaven's Door, and he stopped the show to get into I think it was a fake, like he was picking a fight with somebody in the audience in Halifax. I was like, this band is
wouldn't be
amazing.
surprised. Yeah, I remember that show. I had the same opinion as you when I saw it. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
but they were good. They
Oh,
put on
yeah.
a good show. Don't Come Knocking Heaven's Door is a pretty good song. So
Yeah.
I liked it. And then you're following up with Maiden with their last great like stage
Oh,
show.
I love that album.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I would love it. Did you see that show, Billy?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
In Montreal or
That would have been Montreal.
okay, I think everybody would have saw that show.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was a pretty big deal when it came out. It was a huge deal.
But you know what, Ken? I
Yeah.
saw Anthrax open for Iron Maiden for Persistence of Time tour.
I saw
They
that too.
opened for No Prayer for the Dying.
Yeah,
And
I
I
saw that
tell
too.
you, so they had all the gear was late coming to Halifax because we had one of our winter hurricanes.
Yeah,
And so Iron Maiden and Anthrax had the clock, but they didn't have any lighting. So the lighting they had to scour all of Halifax for lighting for the Maiden show and that. They still had the Eddie come out in that, but it was really scaled back, but what a good show.
yeah. That was a good show. I was there for that one too.
Yeah.
I saw that at Maple Leaf Gardens.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It was a pretty good show.